All right. Well, on behalf of the Independence Chamber of Commerce and the City of Independence, welcome to the first Friday of 2017. As always, before we get started, we want to thank our business sponsor this morning. And our business sponsor, as you can tell from the programs, is Accessible Home Health. And as our business sponsor, they are always the ones who pay for the warm muffins of fresh fruit and the extra hot coffee this morning from Terry Trout and Annie Mays. So at this time, please welcome Accessible Home Health and their branch administrator, McKaylee Overton, and regional director, Shelley Roberts.
Hi, thanks for having us. We'll keep our presentation short and sweet. What we do is we provide skilled nursing services in the Independence area for special needs children in their homes, helps get these little ones home from the hospital so they can be with their families, and also gives their families an opportunity to be able to get out in the community, be with their other children, things like that. We've actually branched out in this location to start providing services for our elder population as well. What we will be doing is attendance services to kind of keep our senior population in their home for as long as possible. That is our goal, to be a service there and to keep everyone at home for as long as they can be with their families. What we will do is we have like attendants or CNAs come into the home, and they do help with bathing, different errands, mild housekeeping, and things like that. So we have 5 locations across the state, and we're just really happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your chamber membership and your commitment to the community. You're located in the ARCO building. So if anyone would like to visit with them afterwards, you can find them over here at the reserve table as well as on your tables. They brought literature, and so there are about 4 brochures on your tables. If you need that information, feel free to grab one of those brochures. So like I said before, First Friday is co-sponsored by the Chamber and the City, and it's a way for us to share information, share accurate information. It's open to the public. Everyone is welcome, and as you can see, we usually set up for over 100, and there's only a few vacant chairs, so we always have great attendance, and we appreciate the city's support by videotaping this presentation so that those who are not able to be with us due to work schedules or maybe their inability to get out are still well informed in our community because they're able to watch it on TV. Speaking of information, I always like to go through the activities for the next couple of months. So if you want to flip your program over, you're going to find a great calendar chock full of information. You know, typically we think that January and February are slow, but they're not in Independence. So let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm not going to go through all of those. I'm going to hit the highlights. Of course, we have recycling that is going on. This particular Saturday will mark 12 months of recycling in our community. And I expect all of you to be there with your cans, your paper, and your glass because I will be there and it's going to be freezing. So I would appreciate some traffic so that I can keep the blood flowing. I do want to tell you that we to date have kept out 90,000 pounds out of the landfill, which equates to 45 tons. And we've had over 1,848 people have come during the last 12 months and dropped off recycling. So I think that speaks volumes to our commitment to recycle. However, there are a lot of people in Independence that aren't showing up on Saturdays. So we have room to grow for that. And I definitely appreciate our city's commitment to being able to provide at least drop-off recycling at the current time. If you're a wrestling fan, you can check out the dates of the 7th and the 19th because we have some high school wrestling events going on. There's always lots going on at the museum. They're having a pottery extravaganza on the 7th, and if you look down on the 24th, there's another event, the Leonardo da Vinci event. You can check out more information on their website. And lots of college basketball. Every Saturday in January, there's going to be a home basketball game. I just went to the one earlier this week, big win for the men, and they're great games. So get out and support the ICC Pirates. And the library is having a ladies' night next week. I didn't check with the library to see, are you sold out? Okay, there's still room to get your tickets for Ladies' Night on Tuesday, and they have a lot of activities that they're planning at the library, and this is one just for women. It looks like a lot of fun, so Jerry's in the room, and you can obviously go to their website as well, and I look forward to seeing some other activities. It looks like maybe you're planning a monthly kind of thing for that. So I think that'll be fun. Leadership, I'm going to give a little shout out to leadership. The Chamber supports a leadership program, and it's for the adults in our community. And we have 21 great leadership participants this year that are going through the process. They'll graduate in April, and they will hit the ground running, growing our leadership in our community. And so that wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the support of all of our local businesses that pay for their enrollment fees. So we're very appreciative of that. And I want to let you know that they are going to be, the one in January is going to be all about education. We're taking them out to the college. We're also taking them around to all of our public schools so that they can see all of the great and amazing things that we have centered around education in our community. And then in February, they will be doing a local business and industry session. So that's important for them to learn about all of our local business as well. We always have city commission meetings, as you know, on the second and fourth Thursday, unless there's a change. You can check that out on their website as well. So mark your calendars for 12 and 26. And I think I misspoke. In fact, I know I did. I said the Leonardo da Vinci, the Renaissance Man opening reception was a museum event, and it's actually a public library event. That's on the 12th. And we're going to hear about the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration that's happening on the 15th. That's one of our speakers today, so you'll learn more about that. And then I did speak about our leadership program, which also consists at the Chamber of a sophomore leadership program. It's called First Leadership, and we have 13 great kids enrolled in that this year, and they will be kicking off their first session in February, going to the Helmsar Challenge Rope Course in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that's always a great event. They absolutely have a great time. And then in February, they will be their session will be around exploring independence, and they will be learning a lot of the history and the great things that make our community a wonderful place. So again, we're really proud of that, and I say that because the only way we're going to grow our community, or one of the ways we can grow our community, is through great leadership. And we need to start with our youth. And so I really appreciate the support of all of our local businesses of our youth leadership program at the Chamber. On the 21st and 22nd, you're going to see a lot of unfamiliar faces in town because it's the SEK Gun Dogs Kansas State Championship. There are going to be tons of hunters in our community. So if you see unfamiliar faces that have camo, be sure and welcome them to Independence as they're here for their championship. And then the Chamber is having their 103rd annual Chamber meeting, dinner, and banquet, and silent auction and fundraiser on the 24th. And I hesitate to tell you that because we're actually sold out. If you have not made your reservations, you can still call the Chamber and you can be on the waiting list. But as of yesterday, we're at 300. So if you're not on the list, like I said, always call in and be on the waiting list because we usually have some cancellations, but we are full. This month actually marks a year for YPI, which is our Young Professionals of Independence group. We're thrilled. They are at 100 members plus, and they're going to be doing their casino night again in celebration of the new year, and that will be on the 26th. And I want to mention homecoming for the basketball team is on the 27th. And also on the 28th is after prom bingo. And if you've never been to that, you should go. It's a lot of fun. I go every year. And that is an event that's very important to our community because that supports the fundraising to help keep our youth safe on prom night. And so that's their one big fundraiser. They need lots of donations and they need lots of bingo players. So that's on the 28th. Mark that down. You can save a life by donating blood on February the 7th. On February the 11th, you can save some money by going and buying your daughter or your granddaughter a used prom dress. We all know that they wear them once and hang them in the closet, and they're never worn out. So it's a great way to get a bargain, and it's a great way to support the women of Independence who take all of their proceeds and put them right back into the community, making a difference. And that's on February the 11th. There will be a Cancer Awareness Night basketball game on February the 7th, and that jogs my memory that I forgot to mention on January the 10th is SEK Cancer Support Group. It's always the second Tuesday. It's always at the Nazarene Church at 6:30. And so please mark your calendars for that if you would like to attend. Our community is always willing to branch out and help other people, and there will be an opportunity to help a family in need on February the 18th as we have another Friends Helping Friends benefit to help Audrey Hines. And she is a local little girl whose family needs our help as they battle cancer, and they need to raise funds. Our family is a recipient of Friends Helping Friends. We know what that's like to have extensive medical costs, and it's great when our community comes together and supports all of us. So if you're interested in that, you can give the chamber a call, and we'll point you in the right direction. But that is an amazing group that will be doing a fundraiser on the 18th. And I'll wrap it up by giving a shout out to Dancing with the Indy Stars for the college on February the 25th. And on the 28th, we will have the annual Shrove Tuesday Pancake Supper at the Church of the Epiphany. So there you have it. That's all that's happening. Well, that's probably not all that's happening, but that's a lot of what's happening in January and February. And I always say that if I made an error on the calendar, please let me know. I did make an error. I caught it last night, but I can't remember what it was. But sorry about that. You'll figure it out. It might come to me before the end of the program. But we also put it on the community calendar that is on the radio, and I just see Brent Littleton in the room. And you guys all need to give him a big shout out and thank you, because he is the sponsor of the community calendar that plays on the radio twice a day on 3 different stations. And I get a lot of comments about people that hear all of that great information that's pushed out to the community. So Brent, on behalf of the chamber and the city, we appreciate your support of that so that we can get that information out. We actually also want to give a shout out to the reporter. They put the calendar in the newspaper for us so that all the readers of the newspaper can see that. So, and then it's on the TV. So I can't imagine why there would be anybody in the community that is not well informed. So speaking of well informed, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to introduce our first speaker this morning. And you've got an opportunity to hear a lot of great speakers and a lot of great information. And we're going to kick it off right now with Jason Rutledge from the Community Foundation for Independence. That's going to share some information about that organization. And I think we've got a little video production, too. Please welcome Jason Rutledge.
Thank you, Lisa. It's an honor to be here today representing the Community Foundation for Independence. Truly, on the first Fridays of every month, the movers and shakers, the leadership, the business leaders of Independence are in this room. So there's no better audience for me to be at. So, as Lisa said, my name is Jason Rutledge. I'm the current president of the Community Foundation for Independence. The Community Foundation for Independence board is comprised of the following. Susan Hill is vice president, Judy Harris, Cole Hoffmeister, Cass Bruning, Tyson Oaks, Mary Monty, Brian Klubine, and Cole Pasternak. We were formed in 2006, and as you know, for Independence, 10 years isn't a very long time for an organization. We are deeply rooted in this community. But community foundations have been around for quite some time. So we have a video that we'd like to show you, and I'll talk a little bit about the history of community foundations and a little bit more after. So hope you enjoy the video. What do the following independence organizations and community projects have in common?
We collect funds from individuals and businesses to stuff the bus with school supplies in order to provide them to deserving students in our local district at the beginning of each school year.
Circles is a community program that meets here at the First Baptist Church each week. Circles meetings provide opportunities, giving people the right tools, resources, and support that educate, equip, and inspire families to move forward and to thrive.
Volunteers of all ages planted 20 fruit trees in a donated lot right here at the corner of 17th and Walnut for our first community orchard. This, along with future orchards, will eventually provide healthy eating for families throughout the city.
Here we are at Uppercut Boxing Club with our director, Henry Williams. We have lots of boys and girls that come every day, and they are here learning their boxing skills, and Henry is here to help them with their life skills. And we also have our Independence Community College tutor that helps them with their grades to keep them in school.
Community Missions for Improved Housing volunteers help repair homes here in the Independence area for the elderly, the disabled, and the needy. and by doing so, we bring hope to the community.
Through donations made to a donor-advised fund established by the Lucy Thompson Trust, bronze statues have been installed throughout the community, both downtown and in Riverside Park.
With the city's investment and private donations to the Independence Reporters Trees Up Downtown campaign, city employees and community volunteers were able to plant more than 75 trees in the first phase of the downtown streetscape.
Each of those service organizations and charitable projects were started and sustained through funds donated to the Community Foundation for Independence. As a member of the Kansas Association of Community Foundations, in 2016, CFFI celebrated its 10th anniversary of service to the community as a not-for-profit 501c3 organization offering tax deductions for donations. Because of that, CFFI has been able to play an invaluable role in making Independence a special place to live and work. How can you be a part of CFFI's important work for our hometown?
Anyone that would like to support the community of Independence can do so through the Community Foundation for Independence by giving an individual donation or as a beneficiary of an estate, a business or organization contribution, a memorial gift in memory of a loved one, or in honor of a special occasion. Be it large or small, each gift can benefit a particular interest of the donor.
Your gift of cash, stock, real estate, or any other articles of trade or commerce may be placed in an agency-designated fund in support of a nonprofit cause or an organization's programming or operations. Your donation can also be given as unrestricted funds to be used as grants distributed at the discretion of the Board of Directors to a broad range of charitable causes having the greatest needs.
As an alternate to creating your own private foundation, CFFI could set up a donor-advised fund for a new cause or specified purpose of your choice, with guidelines on how the money can be distributed by the Board of Directors. For instance, a Field of Interest fund could direct your contributions to be used for a specific cause, such as the arts, health, education, or a specific geographical area. A scholarship fund could be designated for a particular school or field of study with established eligibility requirements and an advisory committee.
You could use CFFI as a starter 501c3 for your organization, until which time it qualifies for that designation on its own. Two of the entities we have worked with that have chosen the nonprofit status are the Community Access Center and the Community Mission for Improved Housing.
There are many advantages to donating through CFFI. First, our board of directors are made up of community residents that offer local expertise and leadership. We offer personalized services and simplify charitable giving by taking care of all the technical and legal requirements.
Our nonprofit status offers provisions for tax deductions for your charitable donations. And because your funds are locally managed, they can be directed to meet the changing needs of the community.
And if you desire, anonymous giving options are available.
What will be your legacy for Independence? How many lives will you change? Join us in building the future of our community. Hoyt Caston is amazing, but my ears look huge. I think he blew them up, so. My grandfather had big ears, but I didn't think I did. I guess I do. Community Foundation. So they had asked me, Vicki Stonecipher had asked me to be on the board several years ago. And I said, I know what a community college is. I know what the community closet is. And I know what the community chest is, our community chest. I don't know what a community foundation is. So I looked it up. I'm a fan of Wikipedia. So here's the definition of a community foundation. Community foundations are instruments of civil society designed to pool donations into a coordinated investment and grant-making facility dedicated primarily to the social improvement of a given place. Our given place here with the Community Foundation for Independence is Independence. Community foundations, there's 1,700 worldwide. 700 of those are within the United States. I also wanted to know a little history on community foundations. So the first community foundation was set up in Cleveland, Ohio, by a man by the name of Frederick Goff. 1914 is when it was established. The first Canadian Community Foundation was established in 1921, kind of interesting. But I thought this was interesting. 1980s, there was a push by private foundations, not community foundations, but private foundations like the Ford Foundation, to incentivize the creation of community foundations. So Kansas actually made the Wikipedia page. The Kansas Health Foundation here operates similar programs for community foundations throughout Kansas. So I'm a numbers guy, and to make this a little bit more interesting, I wanted to know how much money they had, right? So the largest community foundation in the United States is Silicon Valley, like California needs any more money, $4.7 billion. $4.7 billion with the B. Number two, well, to give you perspective on that, I can't get my arms around that, but $4.7 billion is the interest off of that. Every man, woman, and child in the city of Independence will receive a check for $2,070 every day for the rest of their lives, just from the interest. It's like Social Security. I think we need to channel some of that money here, personally. So it's $236 million a year. Tulsa is number 2, our neighbor. Surprising to me, too, $3.7 billion. Number 4 was the Cleveland Foundation I spoke of earlier at $1.9 billion. Greater Kansas City Community Foundation, number 7, $1.6 billion. And the Community Foundation for Independence is totally not on this list. So we need your help. So no. The top 12 have $1 billion, so I thought that was pretty interesting. There are brochures on, I think, some of the tables, but there are also brochures over here. They give a little bit kind of bullet points on what the video was. There was a lot of information in the video. I've seen it about 8 times, and I'm still watching it to learn. A lot of people, a lot of talent, and a lot of information. So if you're interested in understanding a little bit more about the Community Foundation, we're truly here to serve the community. We're a channel by which 501c3 status can be used. If you want to benefit a class of people, an art, some type of a geographical location, if you would like to do that. Tim knows this, but Lucy Thompson, that was the reason, that was the seed for this organization. Back in 2006, our Community Foundation was formed by, I believe, Tim and Vicki Stonecipher. Tim Emmert, sorry. So if you guys are interested and need to know more information, I'm the current president. Susan Hill is the vice president, and Linda Henning is our executive director who really does all the work. So come see us, come talk to us, and thank you for the opportunity to educate you on what a Community Foundation for Independence is.
Good job. Thank you very much. That was the first time I saw that video as well, and that was a great video. All right, so we're going to move right along. We have a couple of speakers who are going to address our next topic. They come to us from the Diversity Task Force. That is a committee underneath the Chamber of Commerce working to build diversity and awareness in our community. They are hard at work with the Martin Luther King celebration, like I said before, that's coming up. We're doing a great food drive they're going to be talking about, which is why we have the food at the front of the table and over here for a collection site. And so at this time, please welcome their chairman of the board, Kathy Shepard, for the Diversity Task Force, and board member Michelle Anderson.
Good morning. My name is Michelle Anderson. This is Kathy Shepard. We're here on behalf of the Diversity Task Force and to talk to you about our community and our committee and the Martin Luther King celebration that's going to be held on Sunday, January 15th. The Diversity Task Force was started in 2008 as a committee under Leadership Independence, along with the Chamber of Commerce. Our mission statement highlights that diversity encompasses acceptance, respect, and understanding that each individual is unique. This diversity does not just include race and gender, but socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, age, physical disabilities, and political beliefs. We strive to understand each other and move beyond simple tolerance, but to embrace and celebrate the diversity contained within each individual. Over the past 8 years, we have spearheaded various activities that seek to bring diversity awareness to our community. They include, in 2009, a diversity summit that was led by Lucky Lynch of the Kaleidoscope Foundation. This is an organization that provides activities for senior citizens and cognitively impaired adults. In 2010, we had a concert that was given by Tony Melendez. He's a nationally known guitar player, composer, songwriter, and singer that just happened to be born without arms. We've done a poverty simulation, which is a tool that can be used to educate people about the typical day-to-day strategies of surviving with a shortage of money. The objective is to sensitize participants to the hardships faced by real people. In 2014, we held a series of community courageous conversations about race in our town. This led to a sprint training in 2015, which had about 100 local participants. The goal of the training was to identify specific ethnic or racial problems that hinder Independence from becoming a truly diverse community. This training was led by Rita Valencio. She's a conciliation specialist with the United States Department of Justice. And as a result of the training, the Community Relations Group was developed, which works to promote positive relationships between our local law enforcement and the community. And it's headed by Lisa here. In 2016, we held a candlelight vigil for victims of violence and senseless crimes. We are continually looking for ways to discuss diversity in a safe, positive, and nurturing environment. We're always looking for new members to share our same goals. So if you're interested, please contact the Chamber office for meeting dates and times. And I will now turn things over to Kathy so she can give you the details of our Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service celebration.
And before I get started really on Martin Luther King, I would like for any of our members of our Diversity Task Force to please stand up so everybody knows who you are. And if they have a question, then that way they will be able to come to one of us and have that question answered. So if you would all stand up, because I know we have a few here today. Thank you guys very much for serving. A few years ago, the Diversity Task Force got involved with the Martin Luther King Day celebration. And part of the thinking behind that was we wanted this to be a community-wide celebration. And so we wanted to have it in more of a public setting where everyone was felt welcome to come and really get the community involved. So the task force started planning with the members of the Diversity Task Force, and it has grown each year, and we've added new things, and I'm excited about some of the things that we have going on this year. We kick it off with our canned food drive, and we nicknamed that our food fight. We thought that might be fun for the kids in the schools to have a little competition to see who could collect the most food. So we did it on the theme of food fight, and Susan Hill came up with this great graphic that, if you want to hold it up there, that kind of looks like food got splattered all over it. And so it's just kind of a fun way to get more people involved. We've wanted to get the community more involved in collecting the food, and so we're really trying to push that. And so I really appreciate the Chamber flashing that out to everybody that we're doing that and asking for the canned food and or if you want to donate cash. That's why we have some cash sitting here. That's easy to carry, and it will buy the food for people. So we do that because Community Access Center and the Independence Food Basket, after Christmas, they're really depleted of their stock of food. And so we really want to help them out, and we thought this was a great way to have some community service, because we all know that Martin Luther King stood for service. He felt that every one of us could be great because everyone can serve. And so this is a simple way for everybody to get involved with service and provide some giving back to our community. So the food fight is kicked off. The kids are collecting their food, and we're excited about that. Another project that we do with the younger kids is a coloring contest. We have a couple pages, and the schools all have those, so they're getting started on the coloring contest. For the older students, we have an essay contest, and we have asked them to write 1,000 words or less. We have a committee that Chuck Schmidt put together that's going to judge those, and then we have $50 prizes that go to one person at the college level, one person at the high school level, and one person that's at middle school level. And so last year they were awesome, and we had a lot of participation. There were over 100 entries, so we felt like that went really well, and we think it's going to grow this year again. One of the other things that we added this year, and Lisa's going to talk about that more, but one of the things that we've talked about in Diversity Task Force is that we want our kids in the community to feel comfortable with our police force, so we're kicking off a police trading card, and Lisa will show you and talk to you about those, and I think that's going to be exciting. We're kicking that off this morning. Actually, some of the officers are out at the school and kicking that off, so that's another exciting thing. On Sunday, the 15th, is when our actual celebration will be. That starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon with a free soup lunch. Another thing that Martin Luther King felt strongly about is that everyone has a place at the table. And no matter what your race, your gender, everyone can come together and talk about things in our community, whether they're issues that they're having, something they might need help with, but everybody can come together. It's very informal. This year, the Altar Society at St. Andrews is providing the soup. Each year it's different on who provides it, but they're going to provide the soup, and we encourage everybody to come out at 2 o'clock at the high school in the community room and take part in that. And then once that is over at 3 o'clock, then the actual ceremony starts, and we have the ceremony filled with music and readings. We have a lot of different faiths from our community that are represented in that ceremony, and we think it's going to be a really good day. And we will award the winners of the essay contest during that ceremony, and we also will tell who the food fight winner is. And we have a traveling trophy that goes around. The Eisenhower kids have won it the last 2 years, so we're anxiously looking to see if the community can come in and beat them or one of the other schools. But that's something fun that they can do, and they also can help provide for our community too. So that's basically what's going on with the Martin Luther King Day celebration. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, Michelle. I do have posters up here that I brought, some on the food fight, and then I have a big one that can be put up in the windows for Martin Luther King Day. If any of the businesses would put these up in their windows, that would be great, and I'll have them available when we get done.
Thank you very much. And I will tell you, if you're wanting to get involved in a great committee on the Chamber of Commerce, the Diversity Task Force is one of the best. So they, as you heard Michelle list off, they've done a lot of things over the past years that have made a difference in the community, and they continue to do so. And if you've never been to the Martin Luther King celebration, you've missed out. So you've got a chance to take advantage of that coming up. So I encourage you to attend. Like Kathy talked about, our next speaker is going to speak to you about a trading card program. So at this time, please welcome our captain of the Independence Police Department, Lisa Helkenberg.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Well, I don't really have a whole lot to say now. Kathy did it all for me. As they said, I'm Lisa Helkenberg. I'm the patrol captain at the Independence Police Department. I don't even know how many years I've been there, maybe 14, 15 years. But I have some helpers that are passing around some trading cards so you guys can see what we're working on. These particular cards, the officers are at Jefferson, and they are meeting with some kids and passing them out. So the whole point behind this, the Diversity Task Force, we are always trying to find ways for law enforcement to try to do outreach with the community. And Kathy had approached us about a grant that was available to start making these cards, and I thought it was a fabulous idea. At first I was kind of like, I don't know. But the more I thought about it, this kind of gives us an opportunity to roll up to some kids who maybe typically would be frightened of police officers, but this would give us an opportunity to talk to them about something and open that door. On the back of them, if you look at the back, it has little bios on them. So it has like hobbies. So there may be something that we can find in common that we can start talking about with the children. So the whole point was that this morning they're being told about the cards. They're going to try to collect all of the employees at the police department. So we have all of the officers, the detectives, dispatch, everybody. Their goal is to try to get all of the cards, and when they get all of them, we don't have them all done yet, they will bring them to, we haven't decided yet, maybe to the police department to show that they have them all. And then they can talk to us, maybe give us some information. Hey, I've read about Officer Johnson. She likes to run or something. And we put their name in a drawing, and they can try to win a prize. So part of the discussion that we've had was trying to come up with some sponsors to come up with some money to buy a gift or different gifts so we can, when we draw their names, that we'll have a really decent prize for them. Also, the other aspect of that was once the grant runs out and we have all of the cards that we can print with this money, that we were going to maybe start looking for sponsors. If this seemed like a good idea and it was going pretty well with the kids, was start looking for sponsors and even maybe put their sponsorship information on the back of it so it shows that different community businesses or people were helping to sponsor this outreach project. So another thing we thought was fun, we have a McGruff that we're trying to use a little more out in the community. We haven't used them in a long time, but we've used them recently, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to make a McGruff card with a little bio on the back of him, so when he starts going to some of these other little outreach projects, that he could have something to give to the children too as well. That's pretty much it. I think I cover everything, Kathy. So that's all I really have. If you have any questions or comments.
Who can people give money to, or funds, or sponsor? Who's the point person there?
Oh, I'm going to have to say Kathy, probably. I don't think we want to take the funds at the police department, so. So I'm going to have to say. Or through the Diversity Task Force even, that's a good idea. So as you can tell, it's really kind of beginning stages here. We haven't figured out all of the details. It was kind of something that was sprung on me maybe last meeting or so. And so it's, in order to even get these cards today, it was a huge push on their part. They were up pretty late last night getting these cards. They have to actually print them and cut them. So they rushed these cards over to the PD really late last night, and so I would have them to give to the officers this morning to be at Jefferson this morning. So we're still trying to iron out details. As we get progress a little bit, we'll have more information on that. But we're really excited about it. Was there anything else that anybody had for me? All right, well, that's all I have to say, so thank you for your time.
Thanks, Lisa. And thanks to the Diversity Task Force for sponsoring that. I I think that's a great thing. And, you know, we have the 5 movie nights during the summer months, and the police officers and the fire department are always so willing to help out. And so I think that will be fun for you guys to be down there and passing out those cards. I know that Jefferson, like she said, always has their assembly right now at the same time. And so I know that they're having a great time having those officers on their campus and passing out those cards. So I think anything we can do to help out our amazing police department and be supportive for them. And if you have ideas for them to do, as she said, they're always willing to do outreach. I think that that's great, and it's definitely a great way to build relationships. So good job. All right, so we're going to wrap it up with some great news. We have our mayor here today, Gary Hogsett. There is some really good economic development information. If you haven't already heard about it, you're about to, and he's full of all kinds of other positive information. So please help me welcome our wonderful mayor, Gary Hogsett.
Thank you, Lisa. I don't have good news today. I'm sorry. Lisa was wrong on that. I just have bad news. First, I want to thank you guys for being here this morning. I really thought there'd be nobody here on a day this cold, but I'm constantly amazed by what Lisa and Mandy do. I've lived in 9 states and I think 15 cities, and every other city I've lived in, the Chamber of Commerce was just barely hanging on or was defunct. I don't know how they do this, but this is amazing. I mean, to see Steve McBride out on a morning like this, or Drew Demo out on a morning like this, holy smokes, it's just amazing. But thanks for being here this morning, and thanks for the opportunity to be mayor. This is my last week as mayor. We'll have a new mayor next week. It's been a tremendous honor. There is some ugly rumors going around that I'm an eternal optimist. That's just not true. I want to set you straight on that, and I want to show you some slides. Are we ready to go, Tony? Okay, so the first time I was asked to speak at this event was 2 years ago today, and I railed for my entire 10 minutes, not a second more because I didn't want Lisa kicking my butt, but I railed for 10 minutes about the condition of our downtown. I showed photos like this. We had streets blockaded, buildings looking like they're about to fall down, buildings that are just frankly ugly, and buildings that had been abandoned for years. So to me, that was a very, very real concern. I was very upset, and I had a lot of people say, "Are you always this pessimistic?" So no, I'm not always pessimistic, but I was at the time. Now I'm not so. I think our downtown is doing fabulously well. Uncle Jack's is looking beautiful, fantastic. This particular building, not only did they redo some of the brickwork, but you notice up above the windows were boarded up, and now the windows have been re-exposed, and they look fabulous. This building, holy smokes, what a difference here that Security First Title has made. I just can't imagine I can't imagine making improvements any faster than we are downtown. This building, owned by B&B Cinema Chain, holy smokes, can you believe the changes that our new owner has made? I really can't get over it. And I'm fascinated with this sign. They custom designed it. I think it was designed by folks here in town, had it custom made to fit this building. They wanted to keep the historical look. I just think it's amazing. I didn't know how they were going to pull it off, but I think they did beautifully. This particular building is gone, as you know. It's been taken down, and we've got some plans to make a really attractive little park of sorts there. Ned Stickman has poured a ton of money into the Litwins building and made it just absolutely beautiful again. And it was really in sad shape when he took over. So, Ned, thanks very much for your investment there. That's huge. We've got a project going on downtown that's kind of under wraps. One of our dentists in town, Dr. Burskins, is doing a major renovation to her building. We appreciate her commitment to the downtown also. I saw Greg Webster had a crew out there the other day doing some improvements to the front of his building, and it's now looking magnificent also. I'm just amazed. Every other town in the country is losing their bookstores. We have a new bookstore downtown, Indie Books, and I'm just amazed because I like to hang out in bookstores. So from now on, if you're looking for me, I'm not in my office. I'm probably hanging out in the bookstore. That'd be a good place to check, but go by and check them out. We had another bookstore, a used bookstore that closed, and this bookstore has bought out the stock of that bookstore, so he's got another 20,000 books in stock that he'll be getting out on the shelves. Anyway, please support these people. They're really investing a lot of money in our downtown. We have done some incentives. The Housing Authority is doing incentives for upstairs, for people that will convert the upstairs their buildings into apartments. They'll pay basically a third of the cost. And then the city has chipped in some money to help pay 25% of the cost of improvements to external projects on the buildings. New windows, building facades. Hopefully we don't have many like Ned where they have to tear down the entire facade and rebuild them, but we do have some others that need some work, and we've put some incentives in place, and we're very encouraged by the progress we're seeing. I should say now that probably the two worst buildings downtown are both owned by me. That's a little embarrassing, but we are working on that. We have done some other things a little less noticeable with the water system, the sewer system. We've done a little bit of street work here and there. This is a photo of 9th Street, which got a new surface. And really working hard to keep up with the ongoing maintenance in the city. Comfort Inn, this is a big announcement for us that Comfort Inn is building, and it will be done in a few months. We've gotten requests many, many times from Cessna and Cobalt that we'd like to have a little bit nicer lodging for people that are coming to pick up their very expensive plane or boat, so very encouraged by this. And, of course, the biggest news lately, this is an aerial photo of our groundbreaking at our new micro hospital, compliments of Mike Owens. I see Mike here in the audience. Thank you, Mike, for your drone work. And, that's just a few months ago that we were breaking ground for our new emergency room, compliments of Labette Health. And it's moving right along. The structure's in place, it's closed in, the roof is on, they've got crews working inside, and it's really moving along at a surprising clip. And I know my photo is not as good as Mike's. I held the camera over my head, but I just couldn't get as high still. But we've got the only lime green emergency room in the county at this point. Anyway, this is huge, wonderful news that this is coming. But the biggest news that Lisa was referring to, and this is my last official meeting as mayor, so it's really nice that we have some good news to talk about. We got a nice boost yesterday from Standard Motor Products. If you're not familiar with S&P, they've been around for about 100 years. They have a dozen facilities scattered around the U.S., and they have a small plant in Orlando, Florida. They just announced yesterday that they're going to close that and move production of that plant to Independence. And sorry, Orlando, but we're thrilled. The Orlando plant has 40 employees, so it's not a huge operation, and they're estimating probably we'll have 20 to 30 new jobs here. But that's even more exciting than 20 or 30 jobs. A lot of these are very high-paying jobs, engineers and highly trained people. I understand they're going to be building a clean room, and so this is a wonderful thing for Independence. I do wish we had a plan to get, with the new employees, when they take a job here in town, I wish we could get them to look at the community and not just automatically move to Bartlesville. We have a lot of people that come to town, take a great job here, and then just buy a house in Bartlesville. And I feel like don't give us a chance. I don't know the best way around that to get them to give us, I feel like, okay, we should force them to take an hour-long tour with one of the fanatics like myself about Independence, but is anyone from Standard Motor Products here this morning that could share any more information? I didn't see anybody. Anyway, so I don't know that much. You now know virtually everything I do. It's not going to happen real quickly, but over the next year and a half or so, we will have 20 to 30 new jobs, and it's really a really, really good job. So this is very exciting news for Independence. And that is the end of my presentation. Thanks again for being here this morning.
I got to lower the microphone. Well, as we wrap it up, I do want to say a special thank you to Gary Hogsett. You've done an amazing job. We'll continue to do an amazing job, but we appreciate your leadership as mayor of our community. So thank you very much. Before we wrap it up and I do the closing announcements, I do want to let you know that it bugs me when I can't remember things, so I found my 2 errors. My first error was that I forgot to put the 10th event, the next week's SEK Cancer Support Group event, which is on the 10th. I left that off. And on February the 14th, I've listed the 446 board meeting, and it's always the second Monday, And so that would be the 13th. So that was my error on the calendar. But we will get that fixed before we send it out to the reporter and before we flash it out. So mark my word, the next publication will hopefully be error-free. But we do have a few minutes, and I always like to open it up for some shout-outs and some extra announcements. So if you have something you want to share, now is the time to do that. What I'd like for you to do is stand up, and you're going to have to talk really loud because we don't have a handheld mic, and I will try to reiterate that information through the microphone system. So does anyone want to mention anything that's happening? Yes, Dennis?
First thing I have to say is Gary Hogsett is he's the role model of positive thinking and professionalism. Gary, I mean, since I met you, I mean, you're consistent. And you've done wonderful things for this community and the region. So I just have to reiterate what you've said. So thank you so much. In a time where, and you guys know this more than anyone, rural health care is taking its lumps these days. In the last 10 years, at least 50 hospitals have closed in rural markets across our land. And it's time for some positive information about rural health care. You've heard one positive thing about the establishment of a freestanding ER in this community. Your closest hospital has had the best year in 5 years, mainly due to our Independence Family Medicine Clinic that is in the black, and our Cherryville Clinic that is also in the black. Our hospital has grown tremendously in the last year and a half. And when you're hearing stories like I heard the other day, there's a hospital in southeast Kansas that had the worst year in 10 years. And they're a quality hospital. But we're overly regulated. Our nursing homes, hospitals, and it's hard to make it out there. But I wanted you to know that your local hospital, the one closest to you, is doing well. And it has a lot to do with the support of you all. And I'd like to share more, but I'm not the program today. But anyway, really hats off to Gary. And the last thing is we've actually been able to recruit and hire a brand new physician who just started this week, a full-time family medicine physician. And I'll bring him next month to this meeting, and you'll get to meet Curtis Hurwich. So anyway, thank you so much. And this is an outstanding community. Like Gary, I've happened to be in a lot of communities over this land in my career. And this is a special chamber, and this is a special meeting, and hats off to Independence.
Thank you. And that was, if you don't know, Dennis Shelby. He is the CEO of Wilson Medical Center and Independence Family Medicine. So we appreciate all of our medical providers, because I'm telling you, it takes all of you guys to keep us all healthy and moving and shaking. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate your commitment to our community. So anybody else? Yeah. Okay, we'll go to Chuck and then to Julie.
I wonder if Kathy or Michelle could say a little more about the spirit of unity.
I was just thinking about that.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and okay. Kathy's going to talk about, Kathy, go ahead and come up here to the microphone. There will be a special award that's given out at the Martin Luther King celebration.
Sorry about forgetting to mention that. One of the things that we do each year is recognize someone in the community who has given, not necessarily a lifetime, but has made a real commitment to promoting peace and harmony in our city. And so each year we select a different person. I think this is the fifth year on that. And so we don't announce it ahead of time who wins that, but I think everybody will be very happy with our recipient this year.
Yep. It's a secret. but I know. Kathy knows, and a very deserving individual, so you will definitely want to be there for that. Julie.
Just real quick, on the Community Foundation video, thank you very much for including our Circles group. I just want to announce that we're changing our name, so look forward to moving forward with momentum, and we're going to continue the work that we're doing in this community for those that have some financial needs and are affected by generational poverty. So just watch out for more information on that.
Okay, thank you. So changing from Circles to Momentum. Same thing, same program. Thing. Awesome. Okay, anybody else? Yes. Oh, I'll do it for you. So Kathy has the flyers for the food fight, and she also has the flyers for the Martin Luther King celebration. There was not enough room on the flyer table, which is a nice problem to have, and so she's got them up here. So please stop by and grab one of those and put it up in your place of business, or share it with someone who would post it so we can help get the word out. And also on the flyer table, if you're not a member of the chamber and you don't get the flyers and the flashes over your email system, you can always get those on our Facebook page. It's Get Independence. You can also get them off of the website, but you can also pick one up on your way out and put it on your refrigerator, put it in your break room, and make sure you share that information with anyone that you come into contact with, making everybody aware of all that's good and great going on in Independence. And speaking of good and great, I would have to ditto what Dennis said about Gary. I never know what you're going to do. And I know this might sound like the Gary show, but I have to say, though, this is not necessarily directed at you, Gary, but I want to say I love your presentations to keep us mindful about all that's great in Independence. Taking the time to put that together and taking us back a few years and showing us where we've been and where we are now, because it's easy to say those negative words, and when you say those negative words over and over again, all of a sudden they become your reality, and that's not really the situation in Independence. I don't believe it to be so. There are a lot of people working hard every single day to make Independence great, and we need to focus on all the great things that Gary put on those slides today. So I appreciate your reminder. I appreciate your optimism. I appreciate your articles and all that you've done, but I also appreciate everything that everybody in this community does, because we all get up every day and we go to work, but we also are out in the community trying to do what's best to make Independence great. And I know that because you always come here to First Friday in at least 100 strong to find out what's going on and then leave here and go out and share that positive information. So thank you very much from the City of Independence and the Chamber. And with that, I'm going to close it out. So I want to say a special thank you to all of our great speakers. Diversity Task Force, you three great ladies, and the other committee members are doing great things. I encourage you to join that group if you're interested. I thank you to the Community Foundation for Independence for your investment in our community and the work that you do. I appreciate our city commissioners and all the work that they do to make Independence great. And I want to thank our business sponsor, Accessible Home Health. Thank you, ladies, for your presentation. We thank you for your business commitment to the community. I thank you for the work that you do and the service that you provide for families who really need that type of care. I'm glad that is in our community and that people that need that kind of care don't have to go outside of Independence to get that. That's very important. And I don't know. I think that wraps it up. There's just lots going on in Independence. I can't believe it's January. I can't believe it's 2017. The next time we meet will be February the 3rd. I'm really hoping that Tony is still pregnant because she's not due until later in February. And so we want to keep that little baby cooking as long as we can. But we wish you the best, Tony, with a healthy and happy little baby boy coming up in 2017. And we appreciate all the work that you do for the Civic Center and in advance for all the work you're going to do in helping us with our annual banquet that's coming up. So with that, I hope you all stay warm. Pack up your recyclables. Come out from 8 to noon tomorrow to the sanitation yard and drop them off, and then have a great weekend. Thank you very much.